No,
the
they
chip
use
CPU?
6
Oh, it's a different one? Oh, okay.
Use the normal CPU ones now.
Okay. Then it makes sense. So if that has the bigger size of the memory, you can use that. Okay. Then it's very active comparing to other the open source. So you can find also most of the listen the package. You don't have to. So if you have something idea, I'd like to do the 3D the graph. You don't have to implement it. Somebody already implemented. You can just search the package and download and install and import to your as a library. Okay. So based on the modular package, you will realize so how much convenient to use them. But so whenever you open the new, unless you save your current the image, it's called the image. Image means because whenever you load the new package, for example, ABC package, like the library, shared library in programming, right? If you want to use a read or the write function, you need to include the standard input, standard stdio. Or if you want to use the Java library, you need to import library. So if you want to use the package, you need to import using the library. That should be done every time unless you save the current image. Okay, current image means current environment. This is one of the reason I love the R programming graphics or such a visualization. It's very powerful. Okay. So somebody said the learning curve of the R programming is like this. Okay, which means first time a little bit tedious. If a certain time it takes not this curve. So first time is quickly learn. It's very easy. But at certain point it takes a time. Okay, it takes a time to improve. But at certain point, if you get the idea or concept of the R programming, it will be advanced level. So it's, in other words, it's hard to find advanced level of the R programming. Okay? But the beginning, it doesn't take a long time, just 10-20 minutes enough to understand the just basic concept of the R programming. So I think some of the students already used R programming for the initial result or preliminary result of your project. Okay? But anyway, I didn't join any of the community because I can find most of the solution whenever I have the problem or if I'm looking for the certain package or function. So just a simple Googling, you can find it. But if you are interested, you can join the community. The problem is I don't know what does it exactly means, but in terms of the programming language compiler, it uses old technology. Okay, that means it's a traditional shell programming approach. Okay, and load all of them into the memory. Okay. But 3D graphics, this has been several the packages you can find. You can test some of them. One of the requirements of the project is to make the output, 3D output using the 3D computer. To do that, your output should be X and Y, Z coordinate value. Some of you can find some of the package to support that. That means because it's open source, if you are using the Oracle database, you can call customer service. But at that time, you need to pay maintenance fee. You know how much is the maintenance fee the Oracle DBMS?
30% of the initial contract.
20 to 30% of your initial contract every year. But do you satisfy? No. Even they never be the responsible for any problem. So thanks so much. So, but this one, even though this is a free, sometimes if you apply this one to the real product, commercial product, but because of the error or malfunction or the bug, so you lose some money or customer complaint, then nobody responsible for that. That is the one of the issues. It's like the Linux, but maybe there might be a company who take care of the customer service, like a lot of the company the support the Linux machine, something like that. Wow, very sweet.
White book.
So I don't, because I'm not a super user or the big fan of the R, so I don't know whether not ideal for all possible situation. I do not have the specific situation which is not featured for R programming. Also, I never used the other statistical tool. So, but I sometimes the surprise, the output of the R is very, very reasonable. Okay. So anyway, just like the other programming languages, I cannot do everything. So, but it is true. It's a very nice for the social media mining. Okay. So this is the history of the R. So you can see the Java is the first one anyway in the market. Okay. It's a job analysis in 2014. Okay. Then SAS is because of the popularity in the business. Okay. But it's very expensive and it's getting decreased. And Python, how many of them are using the Python? Please learn. It's not very difficult. It's good for it has been used for the research a lot, but nowadays even the company they like to use the Python also. So please, I strongly recommend it. So probably you are familiar with the not C program, C#, right? So not many students are familiar with the C program nowadays. So but I strongly suggest to understand the data structure. So understanding C, at least the C++, please. Then you catching up the other program language is not very difficult if you understand C or the C++. Then R is here is getting increased. You will see another. I don't know whether there is a job requirement to get understand backup. I never seen this one. I don't know why this number is here. And this is the you can see the in the data analytics, okay, software, the SPARS and the SAS is the most popular one, and the R is first. The MATLAB is still, but MATLAB is, I'm not sure. Some of them love the MATLAB, but in my case, I don't use the MATLAB for my research. Instead, I like to code by myself, okay? But the R is the catching up in data analytics. Data analysis, the R is the better than the other, and Hadoop is catching up. Also, you will see the R and the Hadoop can be combined. The Hadoop community, implemented something. There's a specific name I forgot. Okay. And this is another data source. So I believe that this one is more reasonable because R is the top one. Okay, so this is the percentile, the primary tool. Okay, as a primary tool, the R is the first one and occasionally used. So it's also the top one. As a secondary tool, because SAS and SPARS is expensive, I guess SPARS is expensive, so that is a reason. So, everybody install the R programming. It's a very easy, simple. You can download the 50 the megabyte, then install it quickly. Okay. So if we are using the macOS, it's not a problem at all. Okay. So most closest one is the Linux. Actually, this just like the other shell programming. This one is the R programming is based on command line interface on the Unix and the Linux system. So if you like the Linux environment, I strongly suggest to use just the command line interface to use this one. Doesn't matter. And also, the strongly suggest. Another problem of the R programming, I don't think it's mentioned here. So it's the memory. Okay, all the data, all the library and data should be loaded into the memory. If you have the small size of the memory, so definitely it's a problem. Like to deal with the big data, like the 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, that's more. So there are packages to utilize file, but which means it will be slower. Okay, so we need to think about such a limitation to utilize our program. Is there anyone already encountered such a problem, size of the data to learn in your laptop? No, not yet?
On R? On R or in
Yeah, R. For your project. So it provides more than 4,000 packages. You can find most of them from the website, and each package provides very nice tutorial. So you can. So like the one example of such a package is Google Visualization, Google Vis. So that I introduced the Google Vis, Google Visualization. They provide R package also. So you can use same interface. Can you remember the interactive, the graph? From the Google Visualization, you can use that package from the R programming by installing the package and import the library. Also, you can develop your package. So if you are installing the different version of the R for developer, then you can make your own. Okay. So this is the graphical user interface for the R GUI. Is built-in. It's included in the installation, but you can install the third party. The IDE, iStudio is popular. Okay, Revolution R is also popular. It's a commercial company, but the other I never use, but they are exists. So you can, for example, this is iStudio. It has a the window. So there is a window dedicated for the visualization, and this is your source code and something console and the package used, or the package or the vector or data, the data frame that you used in your programming will be here. So you can just click, you can see the data. Okay, so for your convenience. So it doesn't matter whether you use RGUI or the command line interface or the third-party tool. It's totally up to you. Okay, but in the exercise lab, we are going to use RGUI. It's between the interface. This one. Okay. So you can see when you double click, it doesn't matter whether you install the 32-bit, 64-bit. In my case, I install both of them, so you can learn the 32-bit in the 64-bit. But after you double click either of them, it will start like that. Or you can type R in command line interface, so you will see the same interface. So if you are in the computer science, you are familiar with such a prompt, right? Also, database use such a command line interface. So it's R prompt. You can give the command. So like the demo. Why don't you type the demo? So what happened? See. So it shows the demo package here. Something output is it pop up another. So usually when you learn and visualize this one, it will pop up the graphical user interface or something output in the another. Then you can close, it doesn't matter, and you can keep going. RStudio is more convenient and powerful, the interface, ID. So sometimes you don't know whether the data is correctly changed. At that time you can click and select such a data, then you can see. Because all the data are stored in the memory, you can see. Otherwise, you can type the name of the variable, whether that is the vector, Google see what is a vector, and data frame, list, whatever, you can type and you can see the data. This is a little bit the gap. So after you get used to it, it takes a time to step up your advanced level. So if you are not interested to use the R programming, it's okay to just get used to interface. business and the basic function. Otherwise, if you are very interested, also if you are pursuing or looking for a job around the R programming, I think that you do better learn the more seriously than because you learn the data mining and data analytics. Also, you know about the tool. Many of the expertise on R, they do not have a background in what is the data mining, what is the some of them has a background in the statistics, but as you have seen here, we have focused on the data, okay, to use something classifier or whatever. That's the reason it's called the data mining. It's not the statistics. It's not like the artificial intelligence. It was even different from the machine learning, okay. So I think you have the good position to get the benefit of using the R programming. So there may be the programmer. So also you have for example, the business experience, from the MIS or the business school or technical management. But if you are able to use such R programming as a tool, definitely that will be much more helpful. So you can design the classifier, you can suggest the model. So I think that if you can understand the data type used in the R, I think more than half of them already done. The others are just most of the function is intuitive. If you understand the specific algorithm, like the data mining tool, if you understand the data mining technique, it's not very difficult to understand. So it supports the very basic the arithmetic operation, so I don't have to explain. Okay, you can just try. Okay, so after using this introduction, we are going to use the exercise lab book. So I try to minimize the number of pages, but it's easily more than 50 pages. This is not enough. I combined the useful book and the article or the online material. So please do not post this one. There might be copyright issue. I copy and paste a lot of the data. I combine several things that may be helpful for you guys. It's good for your study. Okay. So if in this case omit the prompt, expect the prompt, you can just time file so that you will get the output. This is a modulus to differentiate from the percentile. It's a double percentile. Okay. So if you know the C or any program language assignment and equality are different. So in the object-oriented programming, we are using for comparison reason we are using 2 equal sign.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 1 equal sign means it's assignment. That is assignment here. We are using this one. Okay, it's a double, same as the double equal sign. Okay, it's assigned. So also this is the assigned x. 42 is assigned to x. It's not the logical operator. Okay, whether x is 42 1.
Is there any difference or exactly?
It's the same. Okay, but this is more popular. Okay, because we can clearly understand. Then, if we want to print the contents of the x, whatever that is, you can type enter. Then it will display the contents of the data. If that is the array or the series of sequence of data, it will display by the every 15 or it depends on the setup. So these are the very basic data type. So I think that you can understand the basic classes. So in R, it consider any data type, variable, and function as a class. Okay? It's object-oriented concept, right? It's a kind of it accepts the whole concept. So it will be considered that it can be easily understood. Right? So this is a class, the numeric class, integer class, character. In terms of database guy, it's the data type, but if you are familiar with the object-oriented concept, it's class. Okay? Nothing but class. And also we have the vector. Vector is consists of the several elements. So each element can be another class. Okay? So and matrix is X and Y, row and column matrix. Okay? And also list. So if you know the difference, if you know the C++ program or object-oriented program, it has also the vector and the list. The list is kind of array. Okay? Vector is category, kind of. We try to verify the categorical data, okay, using the vector. We will see the example. And also it can handle some missing value like the 1 through 10. Then it will automatically create such a missing value like that. And also data frame is the unique feature, the data type used in the R programming. Data frame is based on the matrix, but it has something labeled. Okay? Then you can easily understand. It has a labeled data, labeled matrix. It's like we will see one by one. So this is the, you don't have to, we will use the exercise lab book to understand this one. This is the assign, you can assign the 1 to here. You can print or you can just X type. It is the same. It will be definitely the character, and the sharp or the hash mark is the command, as you can imagine. And this one indicate the in case of a vector or array or list, so then it's the order of the element or the sequence number. Okay. So indicate the vector and the first element of the X. And in case it's a 1 through 20, okay? It's a 1 semicolon 20 means 1 through 20, okay? Then X is, if we type X, 15 and 16 to 20, and this is the element number. That means the 99 assigned to the 16th element of the vector of X. So how can we create a vector? So you can use the C. C function, C is the function to create the vector. I'm not sure whether C stands for create or concatenate. Is there any? Combine, whatever. Okay? Anyway, you create the vector. So C1 to 3 is the 3 element of the numeric vector. Name is the numeric vector. In this case, the character vector, you can create it, or even the draw first. I think that if you are familiar with any of the programming languages in computer science, it's very easy to understand. Otherwise, it's your job to catch up. Okay? Yes.
Is it mandatory to use the C method function to assign to a vector? Or I can like directly assign the numbers.
One by one, you mean?
So like, I guess you gave us an example.
Yes.
Can you do please the previous slide? Yeah, for example, X is a vector here, right?
Yes.
And we assign 1 to
Yes.
20.
Then you will assign to the vector. Not as good to complicated questions. Sometimes it can be the, in this case it will be 1.7 will be considered as a character. So if you want to know what type of the character of the one, you can use the class. It will return the type of class. Okay, this is a function to verify. Okay, also it supports a complex number and logical and character and numeric. Okay? In this case, if we return this one, it's an integer vector. Okay, integer is the class. Okay, it's not like the data type; it's a class. So then it's an integer vector. Okay. Y is a false, true, true, true. If 0, because it's a logical, which means it's true or false. So 0 means a false, and the others are true. That is the reason. It's a when you return the logical of X, is a first true, 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 true. The matrix is a dimension row by column. So if you type the, for example, the matrix 1 through 9 as a by row. Okay, number of row is a 3, so 9 by the 3. Okay, at the 3 by 9, the each row has the number 1 through 9. Okay. I think that you will learn after you type some exercise, so you can easily understand. So don't worry. So in case of matrix, this one shows the number of rows and number of columns. You know that this concept in the matrix, and the dimension is a 2 by 3. Okay, it returns the dimension, and the attribute of M is a 2 by 3. Okay. You can actually break the matrix by using the C bind, okay, column binding, or R bind. The R bind is a row binding to create a row or column. For example, vector of S is a kind of is a classification or the category. So it's labeled as 1 to 3. There are 3 classes in X, integer X. If you are vector of X, okay, it will be considered as something the label. Okay, so you can see the another example here. We have the vector yes, yes, no, yes, no. There are 2 classes, right? So that is the reason if you factor of this vector is a yes or no, how many no? 2. How many yes? 3. If you table X, okay, that is a factor. Okay, it's factorization or factor. Okay, so it's categorical the variable in case of the continuous value. Also, it will consider. So it's a very good for classification of the data using the factor. Okay. So in case of the factor of the gender vector, it's a male or female. So you can see easily the number of male, number of female. So NAA means it's not a number. Okay, if you divide by 0, okay, NA is sometimes a missing value. If you do not specify any data, it's not a variable. But NAA means it's not a number. It's impossible. Okay, because you may have something such a missing data a lot from here. Data frame, okay, is you can assign the different data type, okay, or basically to the matrix, okay. So this is the example of the data frame to create the data. So planet, Mercury to the Neptune, okay. The C concentrate, there is a type of that, and this is the diameter, and this is the rotation for each, and the links, whether they're used as a link or not, Mercury, no, yes, for the Saturn, something like that. At that time, you can create the data frame. It looks like the M by N, the matrix, but each one has a data type, okay, different data type, okay. So first row is the name of the planet, and the next one is a type, the next one is a diameter, and so on. Okay, by combining this is a data frame, which is good for manipulating the data, right? So you can select something, the element from such a data frame. Also, you can sort the data using some function like the order. So vector, it can be the one-dimensional array. The matrix is a two-dimensional array. The data frame is the two-dimensional. The matrix plus something data type. So we can say it's a multi-dimensional object. And list is something list. Okay, it's different from, so hard to say it's a difference, but if you understand the list and vector in the Java or the C++, it's the same concept. Okay. Also, you can read the data from online or the local file. Okay, so there's no problem. Also, you can write the data. You can export the data. Okay, you can save the data, return data. So that data can be used for another tool. But you need to load whenever you wanna access such a data. You need to load into the memory. But if you save the current session, next time you don't have to. But all the memory information saved as a file somewhere in your local directory, working directory. Okay, we will see how to find the working directory later. Okay, so you can read the file from the file information. Alright, so it's more intelligent than you expect. So you can understand the separator or comma separator or something like that. It's just like when you import the data from Excel file. So Excel can understand what is the separator and what is the column, something like that. Okay? So you can also read the data from the something, the online, or the later you will see that you can collect the data from the RSS, the feed, or the Twitter or Facebook website. I think the reasonably good, helpful, the information from the R, so you can use such a help function. Okay, I like that. Google. Also, we will see the details about the visualization plotting data. It provides the basic graphics, the graph tool. Also, nowadays there are many data visualization tools. We will see this is a basic plot. Okay, that explains the label of X and Y, and also information about the title of this graph, and also you can change it easily. So you don't have to purchase the commercial product to create the graph tool. Like the Origin is one of the popular ones, but you don't have to purchase such a thing if you can use such a iPhone. So then what can you say? So we have 10 to 15 minutes. So let's start. Any question? The best way is to try. Okay. So you can try some couple of the basic command. So this is the console. So you can open the two window. One is for you don't have to download and print out the exercise lab book. Just open the PDF file. I think you can download it from the Canvas, right?
Yes.
So let me open that file also. Oh, and maybe next time I will introduce one of the example of the data mining that I have done using R. So CRM using R. I will introduce them next time. Where is this? Okay, here. first, because you already installed the program, let me skip to the page. I do not have the number of page over. So just basic. So first help. Okay. So this is the, for example, if you want to know about any help for the specific command, you can type. Then, as you can see, it's a local. It's already installed in your local, so you don't have to connect. Okay. So then it shows something solve function and description. Mostly, it has the example. So you can use such an example to get used to the specific function or the keyword. Okay, so that's one way. Or you can type the question. So it's the same thing. So for example, if you want to know about somebody else, C is the combine. Okay. So then you can see the sample. It provides a reason. Most of the time you can understand directly from the sample. Also, if you do not know how to use them, so this is a good reference. Then, as we have discussed, it's a case sensitive. Okay. Some of the program languages is not case sensitive, but this one is definitely case sensitive. So be careful. Okay. Also, you can use the dot for your name. So you can start even the name of your file or the variable with a dot. Okay. Is that there's no limitation for the length of the name, so you can use anyone. So pretty much you can understand the mostly. Also, because after you can use the several command, you can save the your source file. It can be considered as the source file. It's a kind of script source file. So you can save the set of the command as a source file. Okay. Usually the extension is .r, the large R. So you can save it. Also, next time you can call that source file to your workspace. Okay. Most of the objects are stored at the .r data in your working directory, current working directory. So if you go to the Explorer or the if you are using Linux or the any other, using Explorer, you can go to you can find the working directory and you can see the .file. Okay. If we are using the Linux any file starting with a dot, actually you cannot find, you cannot see. So if you are using ls command, list command, but if you list all file, then finally you can see the file. It's a kind of some hidden file. Okay. Then we will learn some basic command, like for example, install. So when you install the R program, it does not install all the package and all function. Okay? Whenever you need to install that. So for example, I try to use the ggplot, which is very popular. ggplot is not installed. So to utilize the ggplot, you need to install that package, install the package command. Then it will ask, okay, yes. Personal library, yes. Then you need to specify just like what you have done when you install. So you need to specify the mirror sign. It's totally up to you, but I prefer the closest one, but not Tennessee. Usually it doesn't matter, but sometimes it takes time. So then install. After you install one time, you don't have to install it again. Okay, but you need to bring that package to the current space using the library command. sometimes one package requires another package is automatically verified and install that. Okay, so you don't have to manually install all of this. So it's successfully installed. That doesn't mean I can use that flood. We need to. It's like the import in the Java command. So library. So G flood. It's a GG plus. Then right now we can use the GG library in our current session. Okay, this is called the workspace. Okay, current space, and so you can see you can use the arrow. You can see the command that the type, so you don't have to retype again. So you can. It's the same as the other shell script language. If you are familiar with the C shell or Con shell, the bash shell, it's the same the interface. Okay, how do I know? How can I know the working directory? So get wd function. Get. So if you open this directory, your directory, then you can find, for example, the users. Users and document. Then you can see this is the working directory. Okay. Or if you want, you can set different directory for your working directory. For example, if we want to set working directory as the C, for example, 10 under C. Okay. Because I didn't create the temp. So if you want to change the directory, so it's a good idea. So if you have the something project, so you can create the directory folder and specify your working directory as this one. I forgot the semicolon also. Be careful. So you need to use the the backslash. Okay. Then. Why don't you test it from this one? Why don't you practice some of the basic, the command to assign and to get used the data type? Okay. Just up to the section number 4. Before the object, their mark and the attribute. Why don't you try? If you have any question, just raise your hand. I will. Probably this is just an example for each. So I think you can. I do not include the output of this. For example, if you type S3, it will return the value of this. Then you can understand what is the command. If you do not know what is the SEQ, okay, then check the head file. Or if you don't want to pop up every time the Explorer, you can use the Google also. Okay. Okay. So the others is a homework. You don't have to submit anything, but just practice. Okay. It's fun. Actually, it's fun than you expect. Why don't you try? Also, if you do not want to learn I'm in a hurry when I learn the new program language, so it's also a good idea. You can find some sample code and type by yourself and change it and what's going on, see the difference. That's the best way to learn the new language. Okay? The R definitely much easier than the other procedural languages. So I think that you can easily get used to. Next time, I'm going to skip the basic part. Okay, it's your responsibility. Then we will jump to the function. Okay, it's page 15. Okay, I'm going to jump to the page 15. Some of the example need the previous command. So please, so you need it takes just less than 30 minutes to type everything. Okay. Also, when you copy and paste, sometimes the command is wrong, so you are lazy. When you copy and paste, be careful. This PDF file includes some white character. While I'm converting from the Word file to the PDF, it has something the illegal character, something like that. So that may cause a problem. So you'd better type by yourself. In case you need to copy and paste, first paste in the notepad or any text and see any something the illegal or the special character. Okay, next class. I'd like to have the. You don't have to prepare the presentation, but if you want to, you can do that for each team. You don't have to submit it, but I'd like to check your status per team, the progress of the project. Okay, so each team will explain about the 5 to 10 minutes, less than the 10 minutes, your current status, any issues. Okay. Then at that time, I'd like to check whether you guys have the data and whether you guys have the direction of the solution to of your problem, or whether you guys change any objective or the problem. Then what about the result? Final result, the deliverable should include the report. The poster, okay, poster, and your program, and also you're including data, and also the 3D visualization, okay. Then, what about the final exam? If I wait the final exam, some student good, but sometimes not, okay. The exam is the best way to evaluate.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think?
It's too much of work. We are working already too much.
So I will decide based on the next week the status, progress of your project. If you didn't do anything, no way to evaluate your work. Okay, that's true. So if I just grade based on the poor quality of the project, so you may not get the good credit. So we will see. We will decide whether we are going to have the final exam and or not. Okay. So by next week, so why don't you keep working? Then I'd like to have the kind of the workshop, which means we are going to have the 7 team to present. Each team will prepare the poster in this room. Okay. Then each team will present a 10 to 15 minute presentation. Then will be evaluated based on the peer review. Everyone in this room will evaluate. So I will provide the rubric of that. But I'm thinking because it's an evening class, so it's not easy to open this one to the public. So we will also discuss next time whether we have such a workshop presentation daytime. So if we can find the available slot, otherwise we will have the class hour for the final presentation. Okay, that includes your presentation and the poster as well as the 3D, the output. If you want to use the 3D printer, let me know as soon as possible. I will contact someone who is in charge of the 3D printer. We have the 3 or 4 3D printer, but problem is it takes a long time to print out reasonable the size. Okay, any question?
When will be the final presentation?
That should be discussed also. Okay, if we waive the final exam, it's much more flexible. Okay, otherwise, if we have the final exam, final presentation should be before the final exam. Okay, any others? Okay, thank you and see you next week.